It's bloody hard to be a high-performance person. Gallup did a poll in 2016, worldwide, 87.6% of all the people on the planet, 87.6% of all the people on the planet are unhappy. Why are they unhappy? Because they don't have what they perceive as what they deserve. But it's not what you deserve in life, it's what you earn in life. I came from a background. My dad beat me, I got in a lot of trouble. I found a way to turn it around. The kids, the millennials, give up too easily. I mean, you have to want it more than the air that you breathe.
I said, you can do it if you want it bad enough. The operative part of that is if you want it bad enough. And virtually everybody that's ever come through the seminars never wanted it as much as I did. Nobody was as hungry.
How many of you can say that you're serious about it? How many of you can actually say that you're trying to be all you can be? Now, I won't insult you by asking you to raise your hand because you'll just lie. We all know what the real answer is, don't we? You're not. And so, if you want to be all that you can be, and if you want to be a high-performance person, I did know Steve Jobs. I do know Elon Musk. I do know Warren Buffett. I do know, and they're all ball busters. Success leaves clues, kids. And they all have one thing in common. They're ball busters. They're hard as nails. What kind of sacrifices are you willing to be super successful? 60 hours a week. Nobody is willing to work 60 hours a week to be successful. Nobody is willing to miss a holiday. If you booked a holiday and something important happened in business, would you tell your family to go on the holiday without you and you're not going to go? Nobody said yes. The high-performance people, the one thing that they all have in common is they're hungry. Hungry for a better life. Hungry for change. Hungry for the tough love their parents didn't give them. First 10 years of my starting CNN, I slept on my couch. I didn't have an apartment. Bill Gates slept in the office. Steve Jobs slept in the office. And I can go down a whole list. Now, these are super successful, mega wealthy guys. I slept in my office. Not everybody's willing to make that sacrifice. But it's not the only thing. But even if you don't sleep in your office, if you want to send your kids to a better school, if you want to be able to take care of your mother when she gets dementia, if you want to, this all takes money. When I do feel wimpish, which isn't too often, I just say, come on. And I just go out and do it. And I do that about my entire life. Everything about it. And I know that if I hadn't built up these habits 20, 30 years ago, at age 70, I certainly wouldn't be doing this. But my life changed when I was pretty much a haphazard kid, got in a lot of trouble, got arrested 4 or 5 times, thrown in jail. And this was when my dad's a cop. But then I volunteered for the draft in 1966 at the height of the Vietnam War. And I went to OCS, and that changed my life because it was the really first real high performance thing that I could measure myself against with other people. 2/3 of all Fortune 500 CEOs have one thing in common: military background.
Really?
2/3 of those 2/3 have something else: martial arts. What do you learn in martial arts, Brian? Discipline, focus. A lot of people don't believe they deserve to be there. I convince them, and we have these drills, why you belong there. A lot of people that come there, with money, that have made money, think they made it by accident.
Right.
I just had one of my superstars who's made $100 million tell me in the last week, I'm not sure I'm going to have another lucky accident. And I said, you did it. I mean, you tried a lot of things. I believe Thomas Edison, I wouldn't have done it 10,000 times.
Okay.
I would have hired an engineer from MIT to do it. But I mean, I've tried a lot of things. Nobody's failed at more things than I have. And the first 100 million are successes, but I could write a book about failures that'd be I mean, because I've tried a lot of different things. Because failure is just testing. And one of the reasons I've been so successful in generating this equity and value in my kids, and I call you all kids, is because I convince them that making a mistake is okay. Your parents probably told you, you can be anything you want, but you can't. That's horseshit. You can't. If it's all juxtaposed. So, but what you tell them is that you can do anything you want that you have passion for, because that eliminates most of the crap. Because most people don't follow their dream. You know, like they say in The Sound of Music, you can't have a dream come true unless you have a dream. Now, I still dream. I dream in Technicolor. I say my affirmations and goals every single night. It's bloody hard to be a high performance person. But I went off into the Army. The first high performance thing I did was become an officer, and I got out of the military quite by accident. I was going to stay in the military because it was perfect for me. It was almost impossible for me to get in trouble. And they gave you crazy things to do, which I enjoyed. And then one day, I got a special award. One day I'm sitting in the officers club and a 2-star general said, "Danny, why don't you buy the drinks for all of us?" And I said, I bought the drinks. You don't ask a 2-star general why. And then he said, the magic words that changed my life: "Danny, a young man like you could get rich in the civilian world." And I swear to you, a light bulb went off over my head. I'd never thought of Rich, Danny Peña in the same sentence. And I applied to get out of the Army. So I went from a regular Army officer to out, and I went back to school. A 4-year education in 2.5 years, and I almost got straight A's because it was easy. It was easy. I didn't realize how bright I really was until I got in the military. Because in grammar school in East LA, they used to stand me in a corner with a dunce cap. And if I was bad, they put me in a corner, then they put me in a closet. And they keep me in the closet until my mother or my grandmother came to pick me up. But my father told me, "Sticks and stones can break your bones, Dan, but words can never hurt you." The first thing I did is I looked for anomalies in the federal bidding process for federal products. I saw there was the refineries across the United States were only 60% being used, and yet there was a jet fuel shortage with the U.S. Air Force. So I put 2 and 2 together, I connected the dots, and I bid on federal contracts. And the first year in business, I did $50,540,000 in business with one employee, me. And then when I had that money, I went out and I sought oil and gas partners, drilling for oil and gas. And so I continued to build. Well, I bought an option on oil and gas properties for $60,000, and I turned it into $160 million in 99 days. From there, I was overnight success. And so I took it public, and I grew the company, up to about 500 million, excuse me. Then the shareholders threw me out. They threw me out with a lot of money. So I didn't cry. Don't feel sorry for me. I decided I wanted to do something else because I already was ostensibly pretty rich. I'm the only speaker that you're ever going to hear that really, with all his heart, doesn't give a shit. If I leave here you liking me, I did something wrong. But being a high-performance person is a full-time job. I'm like this when I wake up in the morning to brush my teeth. I'm like this when I brush my teeth before I go to sleep. I'm like this 24/7. 365, and I've been like this for the better part of 50 years. I'm always like this. I'm always pushing the edge of the envelope. And the best advice I've ever given anybody is just do it. We take too much time procrastinating. Fear is false expectations appearing real. We're worried about what other people think. We're trying to fit in. And I can go through a whole litany of stuff why you are where you are because you just didn't do it. You didn't want to make a mistake. You got a mortgage, you got 2 ex-wives, you got a 15-year-old daughter who's pregnant. Your dad's got Alzheimer's, your mother's got emphysema spitting up blood. I can go on and on and on and on. But the bottom line is If you had 15 years ago, you had just done it. 10 years ago, you had just done it. 5 years ago, if you had just done it. 6 months ago, if you just done it, you probably wouldn't be in the position you're in now. So I'm saying no matter what your age is, it's still time to just go out and do it.